So the fact that you had the teacher is what gave you that guiding hand at that time. Would you advise that now for people who?
I don't know how.
Is it even possible now?
I don't know. No. I don't know how the community moved away from this. I mean, I understand that no one feels the need. I understand the arrogance that people feel because they've got YouTube and they've got, Twitter and they've got little, they can download notes and whatever. But the truth is that people download 1 million times more than they actually consume. Yeah. There's a great comfort, in, there's a lot of people that ask for Shaykh Yasser Seerah Series 100. Where is it? Where's the thing? How many people have actually listened to it from the beginning, proper, whatever? So structured learning, whether teacher or even a system or even a set of recordings that are replacing teaching, people are not being disciplined enough. Our biggest problem is discipline. The people who make it to the top are those who have the greater discipline, the greater control over the desires for just a short period of time, just need to hold it on lockdown. And that is the big difference between the haves and the have-nots. I mean, we always like to share the anecdotes that the Bill Gates and the CEOs, they watch 1 hour TV a week and all that kind of stuff. But ultimately what it boils down to is that it's discipline. Everybody wants to sit down and DOS. Everybody wants to just sit and, let their brain, splurge away to TV or whatever. Everybody does. But those people who decide not to and instead will do something beneficial or revise or whatever, they're going to make it, whatever your interest is. And likewise, Deen. People just don't want to go to the circles or don't want to go and sacrifice the time on
struggle,
regular.
I find in the new generation isn't there in the same way. We'd want to get on a bus and go halfway across London. You hear some speakers coming. Again, it's being translated and the translation's even drier than the original delivery. And I don't mean in a disrespectful way. But you go there, but there was a buzz. There was a sense of brotherhood. There was a sense of feeling you were soaking in the ilm.
How much of that is just maybe kind of grumpy old madness that used to be really nice, and because you were
no, but his point is that even the young folks aren't doing that today. We can understand when you get middle age and you change. You've got a different circle now. You've got family. You've got responsibilities. We can understand it. Suffering. It shouldn't completely go, of course, but we can understand suffering. But why aren't the youth our equivalent today experiencing that? And I'll tell you something, I've been very, I always blame millennials for every single thing that happens in the world. If there's any problem, just blame the millennials. But what's the name of that speaker, the public?
Simon Sinek.
So I remember watching a video by him and he was, he flipped it, right? He was saying that we have to adapt to them. That was, his basic message. He's saying that, listen, you got to understand that millennials, they are different and they can be irritating because of who they are in their surroundings. So if you want to get the best out of them, you have to, as the CEOs and the bosses and the older generation, have to adapt. I don't know whether I can agree with that. I think he's a brilliant speaker, he's got great ideas. But I find I struggle. With my own children, I struggle with that.
From the corporate context, isn't it? He's talking about practically you have to
that's where he's
get the most out of them,
right? I mean, that talk is not to the corporates. No, he's given that. He's given that to the corporates, seen it work and seen a reception. Then he said, let me make a business out of this and turn it into leadership development. So he's put it on YouTube for everybody. So no, he's not aiming that at the corporates. He wants all of us who are older to be more sympathetic towards them. And, I think it is important. We need to remember that caveat in our da'wah, in the way that we make, interact with people, that, listen, we grew up without the distraction of the mobile phone, right? And I cannot imagine. That's
a massive difference, though. That's
my point. If I had a mobile phone,
brain chemistry and everything.
Absolutely. If I was trying to revise for my exams with the presence of a mobile phone, with a color that's flashing on the screen that has been scientifically tested over years and years to be that
and
color,
the sound notification,
and the sound that they've gone through 1 million sounds, they've gone through 1 million shades of color. They've trialed it for 3 months. Then they release an update with a different color because they've seen that red really is,
gives
the one.
Gives you a dopamine hit.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, when you look at these companies and how much they have to pay to preserve their brand, and they choose blue like Facebook did, or they choose X like Twitter and whatever, and they all go with
also blue.
But I mean, they have their notification colors as a unique color, and then they're willing to drop that and all go to red. Yep. Which would be the breaking the golden rule of individuality and uniqueness, and USP, because they know that the return on making a compromise and going to red and sharing red as a notification color for everything is worth it because it is completely addictive. Yeah. Imagine having tried to. So you do have to be sympathetic. Yeah. I'll tell you something. For my kids' A-level exams, I took the phone away for the entire length of the A-levels. So my
The
eldest...
whole 2 years?
No, the revision, I mean. The revision. So for 5 months, he had no access to his phone.
Isa.
Yeah.
SubhanAllah.
Yeah. Just to give
How
you an
did you know?
idea of how difficult it is and what kind of extreme behavior needs to be. I'm not saying that's the right way, because I get the whole, you got to teach them responsibility and how to be able to be in control. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think it can be controlled.
But you know, is also looking at the family now, the family structure, the fact that husband and wife often are both working to provide for the family, to get the house that the single father could do before. And it almost becomes, they are a lot more tired. You find the mothers are just as tired, more tired than the fathers. So it's almost easier to say, well, we'll give them some child-friendly programs to watch. And it starts from there. And you know, you're fueling the habit, but at the same time, you despise it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people are still stuck on the whole television shaitan thing. Television is an angel compared to the smartphone. I mean, and it has such huge benefits, and people run their entire lives on it, their livelihood, their work, but it's uncontrollable. It's crazy that we are so obsessed with just a piece of an item, but its power is unparalleled. It's unparalleled what damage can be done. You look at Donald Trump and the power of his tweets. They did an analysis on just of the financial markets. One tweet that he tweets, financial markets across the world crash. Billions and trillions crash. I mean, it's insane. People are focusing, on taking phones of sportsmen. You're not allowed, for example. I know a few who are playing professional sports, and they have very strict rules. They have to, as soon as they come, they have to give their phones in, and then they can't. People are really worried about what happens when they have a phone and what it would do to betting markets. That's 0.001% of the damage that is done by people who are encouraged to actually use their phone to speak and create that kind of panic or create that fake positive kind of results. And I was discussing this actually in our class yesterday, day before yesterday, logical progression, that the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ when he passed by the grave and he said that these two people are being punished. Okay, and two people are not punished, or people are not punished in the grave except that it is kabir, it's severe, it's serious. And the two things that he mentioned are interesting. The first one is namima, which is false gossip, slander, but slander and spreading it for malicious reasons. And then you have this the one who doesn't carelessness about his urine, which is when you look at them, they don't seem on the same level. But just to deal with the urine one, that's because a person is effectively neglecting salah, and salah, of course, is so important. So that's almost an act of kufr. So it's serious haram. But this spreading of malicious gossip, whatever we thought back in the day when we understood that hadith, that is breaking someone's honor and it's, disgracing their reputation and whatever. We need to stop saying that to people. We need to now explain what this hadith means today. Today, it means genocide. Today, it means the killing of entire communities. Today, it means exactly what actually some of the more responsible social networks are implementing. So, for example, WhatsApp, some of its updates, I don't know if you know this, that some of the updates restrict the number of times that a message can be forwarded. Because they did, and they worked out scientific analysis that some of the killings and the lynchings of, for example, Muslims, or in Sri Lanka, for example, the Muslims, and for example, in Rohingya, was because a certain message, which is fake, then gets spread, and then it becomes like fact, and it goes viral, and so many times, unlimited forwards, everybody receives it on their phone, and madness then ensues. Now, if that
I didn't know that's why I was not able to spam enough people with Islam 20 articles recently. Limited to 5 or something.
No, that's because of the person who's spamming, not the content. Let's not bring down Islam 21C. But imagine that is on a static message. What then with now deep fake, where you see that face, that person,
that voice,
actually that voice say the statement, and it's entirely false, entirely. And it's not a fake message now. It's now being spread. This is the namima of our time and its effect. And ironically, we've got to thank Donald Trump for bringing this to our attention. Because if he didn't launch against fake news, we wouldn't have. Facebook would never have felt the pressure. WhatsApp would never felt the pressure to study. Is there such a thing as fake news? Then they uncovered that there was, and then that led then to a more scientific analysis.
Unscripted.